Well, hello there, brothers and sisters of WoT Blitz universe. You're watching WoT Blitz Addict again. Welcome back to the channel. I just want to remind you that we are still on my 500 subs quest, so if you want to help me out, please hit that subscribe button. And today we're gonna talk about the last of the defenders, the IS3 Defender, which is basically an IS3 with an autoloader. And typical for Russian heavy, for Russian IS3, it has really trollish armor. And it's quite a nice tank, but still the worst from the bundle. So we're gonna just briefly look at the statistics. If you want to check them out, just pause the video and see what you're looking for. But I simply don't want to waste time in this on this factor. Basically, it has 7.6 seconds between shells, and the clip reloads for like 25 seconds, 23 seconds as I remember correctly, so that gives you a view how to play it. Okay, so I'm using multi-purpose restoration pack, engine booster and repair kit. It's an autoloader, so you can't use adrenaline. Extra combo rations, of course, improved fuel and protective kit. 4 ammo loadout, 16 APCR shells, 8 heat shells and 6 HE shells. As it comes for equipment, I'm using, as you can see, I'm using vents, but you can also use calibrated, but that will boost your heat pan, but I prefer boosting overall stats. Also enhanced gun lane drive, because the aim time is long, and refined gun to make this gun a bit more accurate, and it really helps, believe me. For second column, I use defensive system. I'm using improved assembly because the armor isn't thick, it's just troll. Toolbox, of course, as usual. Improved optics, improved control to boost the traverse, and consumable delivery system because I don't have adrenaline, so I prefer having consumables more often. And as you can see, against Tiger 2, the armor is trollish. You have 7 degrees of gun depression. If they shoot AP, you can really bounce some shells. But as soon as they switch to some other ammo, to other ammo like the APCR or even just calibrated shells, your whole armor is becoming very, very weak, and the turret is also weaker, but it's troll enough to bounce most of the shells. As you can see, if you wiggle a bit, if you move back and forth, the turret will bounce frontally. Of course, you have many weak spots, as you can see, but at the same time you have very strong spots, and the sides are really, really trollish. You have spaced armor on the sides. It's typical for a Russian tank, so yeah, you can bounce a lot from the sides, from the back. Sometimes if they hit those triangles on the sides, you will bounce some shells. And as it comes for side scraping, the best way to side scrape is reverse side scraping, as you can see, because the pike nose won't give you any decent armor. So if you reverse side scrape, at least you can show only your side, and you need to hide your back, that's for sure. Other than that, you will bounce most of the tanks. And yeah, more than that, it's basically an IS3. There's not much more I can tell you. Of course, the spaced armor is on the side. The last part isn't that great, so it can be panned, but overall it's very, very trollish, typical trollish Soviet armor. So if you're used to IS3, you will get used to the Defender as well. The main advantage over the IS3 is the chance that you have a clip, so the reload time is 7.6 seconds, not almost 12 seconds. That gives you an edge, but at the same time you have very long reload time between the clips, and you need to stay in cover for this period of time. And I want to thank my subscribers for just giving me footage of the IS3, so you're gonna watch 2 decent games from my subs. This one is actually Wysalan Novak from Duby Clan, and as he told me, it was one of his first games in the IS3 Defender, and he did really, really well. That's why I'm showing you those replays. And the second one will be from my amigo YouTube endgame, and also IS3 Defender, as you can just think. But yeah, so let's tell you about the strong sides of this tank. Of course, the strong sides are the trollish armor, pretty decent armor on the turret, and very troll armor on hull. Also, you have short reload between the shells. That means you can be really effective in pushing, because you can deal 1.5k damage in 3 shells, which is epic. But basically it's 400 roll every time. It's an average roll, so let's say you can do 1.2k in 3 shells. That means you still can deal 1.2k in less than let's say first, then you have 15 seconds, so you can deal 1.2k damage average every 15 seconds. Then you have to wait for your reload about 20 seconds, and you still can then again deal a massive amount of damage. So remember, if you're pushing, be sure you can delete your enemy, because if you push and you won't be able to put all shells in, or if you will push and it's gonna be a situation where the enemy you will leave your enemy on just few hit points, he can over DPM you with no issues. And that's why you need to stay in cover. It's a typical pick-a-boom tank. You can't get really close without support, because you have very long reload time, and that's the main problem with this tank. And if you compare it to the rest of the defenders, this one is the weakest one, to be honest, because T28 has better armor profile, better gun, and it's of course it's slower than IS3 Defender, but it's still, in my opinion, still better heavy than IS3, even though it's a TD. And Mark 1 is totally different league. You can't really compare it to T28 Defender or IS3 Defender, because it's way better. And if you want to buy one tank, I told you once, maybe you haven't seen other defenders reviews, so I can tell you one thing: if you can buy only one, buy the Mark 1. If you don't have any and you want T28 and let's say Defender, it's better to buy the bundle, because you will pay exactly the same price for the whole bundle with the equipment. Then it's the same price as you would pay just for Defender, a T28 Defender and Mark 1 Defender. So yeah, it's better to simply buy the bundle in this situation. And so we're gonna, as you can see, the one AFK, and unfortunately HE didn't pan, so my amigo wasn't able to get his third kill, but still it was a massive game. He did almost 4k damage, first class, high caliber, steel wall, and 2 kills with 1206 base XP, which is pretty much a level of XP which you can expect ace, but it was only a first class, so there are people who can use the IS3 Defender in better, very good, simply very good. Okay, so we're on the second game, and my amigo endgame will do exactly thing I would also do in the Defender. You have 7 degrees of gun depression, which isn't spectacular value, but it's not that bad. So that means the positions like here, you can deal damage, free damage basically, because you're hiding your hole, and better than this, you can always back up, hide, and you will be safe for some time before you reload and repeat. And that's how you should play Defender. So you should hold the line, of course, but you have to have support. If you don't have support, you will suffer from your DPM, because DPM isn't greatest and you have very long reload, That means if you get trashed in during this time, you will be very vulnerable to enemy fire, and you won't have any chance to protect yourself other than just moving around, just trying to hide. But in situations like this, as you can see, my amigo is still waiting on the reload, and this bad shot is just busting up, going around and hiding, just dealing some free damage. But yeah, if you have support like my amigo has here, you can still use this position and be effective and make it work simply. Of course, in this scenario, he can only shoot through the right side because the left side is too steep, and simply he can't get his gun down. But still, it's a best position. You can also try to use CT and just try to side scrape, and it should also work. But the best way to do is just play it kind of hold down. So you going to a hold down spot, and you're finding positions where you can drop your gun down, so not more than 7 degrees, and you'll be fine, and you will be really bouncing a lot of shells, and you'll be dealing massive damage. And that's basically all about the IS3 Defender that I can tell you, because I didn't really enjoy the tank. I would say it's a good tank. It's not a bad tank, and it was basically one of the best tanks when it appeared. But after this whole power creep, it became just a good tank. Let's say good tank. It's not a bad tank, but it's nothing spectacular at the moment, and you can't really expect it to go and just bounce everything like the, let's say, Object 250U. And as it comes for ammo profile, I would tell you that Celestial and IS6 and 252U are way better in terms of armor. So all you can do is basically depend on your turret armor and try to use it as much as possible. And it's quite a fast tank, so all the defenders goes up to speed very fast, and this tank is can go, let's say, 40 kilometers per hour, as I remember forward. That means you can use it as a kind of a heavium if you need to. You can just go around the battlefield, relocate pretty fast, and just be where you need to be and support your team. But overall, this tank isn't really spectacular. So saying this all, you should be a support tank, not especially a frontline tank. And that's basically all for this episode, boys and girls. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you want to share your replays, the link to my Discord is in the description below. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing. Take care, bye bye, and catch you all on the battlefield.